Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Leslie, and you've wandered across my little corner of the internet. Excuse me. So, I was a part of a discussion the other day about, this year being even more different economically. I'm not going to get into politics or anything like that. Um, when we're looking at things like Christmas. And it's really funny because people got like the people that were part of the discussion were like, oh, but we need to do this and we need to do that, and it all costs money. And I'm thinking, when I was young, and yes, I share these same values with my kids, and they're sharing them with their kids. One of my favorite, most treasured Christmas memories was this one. It was a simple craft, very simple, but it wasn't just the value of creating something, it was the value of the time we spent together as a family. And what it was two bowls of popcorn. One had butter, one did not. You ate from the buttered one, you strung the unbuttered one while watching a Christmas movie and chatting and doing all the things. And that was then considered a Christmas craft. Uh, Another one, and still a favorite to this day that I share with my grandchildren, pine cones. Simply taking pine cones, possibly painting them, putting glue and glitter on them, and hanging them up or setting them in piles in like around, say, a favorite stuffy that's Christmas related. It doesn't have to be fancy and cost a lot of money. And I think that's what we're forgetting is the simple pleasures when it comes to things like the holidays and our crafting. I think that I want us to go back to remembering how to do things simpler. That being said, I am not going to ignore the fact that I'm fortunate enough to own things like a Cricut. But I'm going to give you, thanks to my notes for my old brain, I am going to give you different ways of looking at your Cricut and what you make with it. And I'm going to give you ideas if you don't have a Cricut, how to maybe get the same look, how to allow your kids to participate in this craft. So this one is a card making craft, and I would like to thank Hannah Walker for this card. It was added to Cricut um, and available for use, and it is what I picked for this. Now, lots of people tell me people have a silhouette, people have a Cricut, people have a lock and look, people have die cuts, and everything's coming out the same. It's like suddenly you're exactly the same as a mass manufacturer who sold something at Walmart because everybody's going on and picking the same from the same basket, let's say. But that's not true. Sure, you pick the same foundation of a card or decor or whatever, but then your part in it as a crafter is to make it yours. Okay? And I will show you what I've done. Let me double check and make sure. Yes, I do. Okay. Going to bring you down to the table. Now, this was the card supplied. Okay? This was the way it was shown to do. And it is a beautiful card. Do not get me wrong, it is a 6 by 6. You put your own greeting inside. on the inside, you want to change it up. Take another piece of the background paper or any paper, mount it in there with your verse written on it. Okay. But this one is exactly the way you saw it on the website. Okay. So very smartly done, because in the negative space here where the blue is, Hannah, her name is, took the time to put little dots and then used the little dots to create the snowy effect. Isn't that smart? So, using the supplies we have on hand, or using whatever colors you want. I like a nice basic white card base for my Christmas in most cases. Now, how would I change it up? Well, let's have a look. There we go. Same card, same design. Whoops. Let me bring this one down here. Kind of hold this up here so you get a break from the light there. And look at that. What did I do? Okay, well, let's have a look. This was just blue cardstock, white cardstock, and a blue glitter pen. This one is the same white cardstock, a black pen. Oh, okay. It's just a shadow. Sorry, guys, I got distracted for a minute. And then I used my own wrapping paper. I had the smallest piece of wrapping paper left. Not good enough for wrapping something, like not big enough, but perfect for featuring in a card. And so that is what I did. So use a different background. Use things like your wrapping paper, your scrapbook paper as your background. Simply change this part. So papers are a consideration to get two very different looks, okay? If you didn't have this, if you didn't have a piece of colored paper, I am sure that you might have some acrylic paint, old-fashioned crayons, pastels, whatever your thing is, maybe some pencil crayons, and you could color yourself a background. Doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Perfection is overrated. It has to be something that you have made and that you enjoy. Now, how else would I change it up? Well, let's have a look. This one doesn't get the glare, so let's look at this one. On this one, I could take acrylic paint or finger rubs, in case you don't know what those are. I could take watercolors or glitter or flocking, and I could put color into the deer and the trees if I wanted. I could add glitter just to the snowflakes. I could not use the white snowflakes here, and I could use some dollar store stick-on snowflakes. Do not forget your dollar store. It is a great resource when you're doing Christmas on a budget, okay? Don't forget that. You want it to be the same yet different? Change the size of your card. If you don't have a Cricut, but you want to make this card, maybe print out a winter scene that you really like on your printer. Get the kids involved. Do you know how much I treasure cards that my grandkids make for me? Get them involved. Get them finger painting. Get them painting. Get them coloring in the background. Make it like a coloring book page and then put it on a card. You get the same effect. If you cut out the front and put the design behind, you'd get basically the same effect. And it would make a beautiful card that anybody would be happy to have. If you want another change, change the color of the pen that you use, Or don't use a pen. Use printed words from the internet. Use a die cut. Use a stamp. Um, or write it by hand. You could have the kids who are just learning to write Merry Christmas, and that would make an awesome card for somebody. There are ways to save a lot of money. You don't have to have the fancy gizmos and gadgets to make these cards work, or even the fancy papers. This paper here was a dollar store paper. Um, Sorry, let me stand that one up. This paper, the background paper, was a dollar store paper. I didn't want to waste a chunk, so I put it behind my card. The only disadvantage I have is that I used a piece of the, oh, what would you call it? Glue paper that goes on the back and you pull it off and it makes it a sticker. I used a piece of that, and some spots of it was sold, some spots were dry. So I have a bit of wrinkling, but to me, I don't care. It adds a little bit of character. So I don't mind. But look at this. What a happy coincidence. The two trees lined up, one behind the other, right? One behind the other. It's just awesome the way that things work out. So, some cheap uh, paper from the dollar store, Christmas paper, Halloween paper if you're making Halloween cards, birthday paper if you're making birthday cards, makes a beautiful background. If you don't want to do that, you don't have a dollar store near you, or they don't have what you want, use some plain background paper, just some plain cardstock. What it comes down to is what you do with it, not what somebody else has done with it. You can borrow somebody else's basic idea, like this one, and turn it into that quite simply, just by changing a couple of things. I did not use the snowflakes or the dots, but I could if I wanted to. It's all up to you. So please don't forget your dollar store. If you want to make, let me think. If you want to make gift bags, then buy a simple bag like this one from the dollar store. Okay? You can get different colors, of course. Okay? I'm not saying it has to be this color, but you can get the different colors and put your Christmas designs on them, or mount your card on the front. Maybe you want this instead of a card, just the front, to be the front of your gift bag. So there is another use for a card that you have made. Just make the front of the card, no fold, and put it on there. Or make the fold, and when they open it up, they can read it, and their gift is attached behind. Whatever you want to do, it doesn't have to cost a fortune. I got uh, 40 of these bags off Amazon, and they were like $15. Okay. Put your own designs on them. Do them your own way. Buy them in a simple craft paper. It's that simple. Cutting back on the money that you invest in the holidays, and instead of investing in that part of the holidays, investing in the time, the making together of the cards, the stringing of the popcorn, watching a favorite movie with, say, a Christmas cup of hot chocolate with a candy cane in it. It's the simple things. It's not the amount you spent. I do not know of anybody who I have given a gift, homemade or otherwise, that has said to me, "How much did you spend on me this year?" However, I do know that I have been thanked for inviting a family over to watch a Christmas movie with mine and have some hot chocolate and some popcorn, maybe a board game or a game of cards for the adults and the movie and the hot chocolate for the kids. It's the time, guys. So save yourself a few dollars, make some simple homemade cards. Let's go back to the basics. Instead of buying these fancy poofy things that hang from the ceiling, let's fold some paper like we used to and use some scissors and cut out snowflakes and hang them from the ceiling. Cut out banners, hang them from the ceiling. Have the kids write Merry Christmas on them and hang them up. It's not about the money, it's about the memories and the time spent. I just happen to be fortunate enough to own a Cricut, and I happen to be in that crafting phase where it's easy for me to change something up so it doesn't look exactly the same as the one that we got originally. We're just changing a basic like the pen color and the paper to create something new that nobody else has already done because it doesn't look the same. You've simply borrowed the basic craft and made it your own. All right, guys, I'm going to get off my high horse now. Please remember, summer is still upon us, whether it's Christmas in July or not. Let's do some barbecuing. Let's eat some s'mores. Let's enjoy it because soon enough, it'll be hot apple cider, hot chocolate, tea, and Christmas movies. Take care, all, and I'll see you on Friday in whatever comes next. Bye.